Skip it up and that up. Wait, what's going on here? No intro joke? No news story? Yeah, there was nothing interesting in the news today. I mean, people sent me more articles on, the Wii U versus the PS4 and Xbox 720, and I've just beaten that topic to death. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate the links. I don't want you guys to think that I'm just brushing them off, but I read them and it's the same stuff that I've talked about time and time again. So thank you, I appreciate it, keep them coming, but it's just, I've beaten the whole Wii U versus next gen versus current gen topic to death. But once again, thank you so much. Today's video is actually going to be a response to Mark Vergier and Lawn Boys Post 1975. I'll have links to both of their channels below in the description. And the topic, the video they made was on gaming as an adult versus gaming as a kid, or childhood versus adulthood video gaming. How does it feel? Do you get the same excitement, and do you enjoy gaming as much as an adult as you did as a kid? And it's such an interesting topic because there's just so many levels and layers to discuss with it. Now, the short answer is no. It's a different feeling now. Now, do I enjoy gaming? Obviously, I have a YouTube channel that is basically a part-time job that is all about tech and gaming. So obviously, I still have a passion for gaming. But the feeling has changed. Let me give you an example. I'm sure a lot of you who are my age, I'm 30, can relate to this. Remember being a kid and you would go to the game store with your parents and you would see all the boxes of NES games and Sega Master System games. I was like 7 or 8, I'm thinking to right now. You would see all the boxes behind the counter, and you would just be like, oh my god, what game am I going to pick? What game am I going to pick? And you would get the game you wanted, and you would be in the car, and the adrenaline was like pumping through your veins. You would be looking at the back of the box at the screen captures and be like, oh, that looks so awesome. Then you look at the front of the box and hope that the game is close to what the artwork looks like. Then you try to, if you were 6 or 7, you could read a little bit. You try to read the description and wrap your mind around whatever little you can read. And man, you would go home, you would tear ass up to your system, your NES or whatever it was. You would pop that game in as fast as possible, and it was like you couldn't wait to turn that system on. And if it was during a weekend, just like James Rolfe, the Angry Video Game Nerd, said, that game was your weekend. That game was like, yeah, you would go out with your friends, like you would go play catch or whatever outside, or go outside and play, but rainy weekend, your parents got you a video game, whether it was a rental or a purchase, that was your weekend, man, and that was your world, and that feeling of excitement and adrenaline, yeah, that's gone. Like, perfect example, let's fast forward now, that was in the 80s, early 90s, let's fast forward now to me in 2012. I picked up Max Payne 3. I played it for an hour of the day I got it. I barely had the energy to play it, and then I picked it up again about a month later. Would the 9, 10, or 11-year-old me do that? Hell no, I would have beaten the game probably like 4 different ways by now. That's the difference between childhood and adult gaming, for me at least. Now, what the hell makes that happen? What makes that excitement, adrenaline, and euphoria go away with gaming? Well, like Mark said in his video response, is that your world becomes a lot bigger. You've gone through life, you've gone through high school and college, you've dated, you've played sports, you've traveled, you've had tragedies happen in your life, you've had successes in your life, you've just experienced life as a whole. And small things like that when you were a kid were huge because you didn't experience that much yet, everything was new. But as you become an adult, small things like that become exactly what they should be. They're small. It's like, okay, yeah, cool, I got, Max Payne, or, I just picked up Red Dead Redemption, the Game of the Year edition, listen to me, edition, and, I still have it in the cellophane. It's not that I'm not going to enjoy it and open it up, but, other things happen in life. I had a ton of work to do. I have, I'm not going to sit down and play a video game all day instead of do my work for HP or work on a YouTube video. Your life expands, and you just have so much more going on, and there's so many more things going through your head. And like I said before, as a kid, you don't have to worry about getting up and doing work and running errands, and especially as a young kid. Maybe as you get a preteen and teenager, your parents give you responsibilities, but as a young kid, all you got to do is play. So you really were able to get engrossed in gaming a lot more than you can as an adult. Now, another thing that makes gaming different now that Mark and Lawn Boys Post 1975 kind of skipped over, maybe because they're a little bit older than me, is that if you're my age, like late 20s, mid 20s to early 30s, if you're in my age bracket, I should say, gaming was very exciting during that time. I mean, think about it. When you went from the Atari 2600 to the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System, it was a huge leap. Everything was so much better on the NES. When you went from the NES to the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo, huge leap. When you went from the 16-bit era to PlayStation and N64, I was a little bit older then. That excitement faded a little bit by that point, or a good amount, I should say. But it was still a huge leap when you went from, the Super Nintendo to the PlayStation and N64, like I just said. It was still substantial. Like, everything was growing exponentially. It was just huge, dramatic, technological leaps with each generation. Now I'm going to tell you another story about me being a kid. It was 1990, and I had a Game Boy and an NES, and Genesis pretty much just came out in the States. And my dad had a friend named George, and we went over to his condo one day because his friend George, my dad's friend George, wanted a hard drive for his computer, and we needed a big hard drive for his 286. You want to know what big was? 100 megabytes. That was not gigabytes, 100 megabytes. Hey, back in the 90s, or 90, I should say, 1990, that was huge. And he had a Sega Genesis, and he's like, "Hey, Rich," George said to me, because I went to his condo too. He's like, "Hey, man, I want to show you the Sega Genesis." I'm like, "Oh," like, I was excited. Jesus, I was 9, maybe going on 10. I was like, "Hell yeah, I want to see it." So he showed me Revenge of Shinobi, and this is the first thing I saw. Mind blown. Imagine going from the NES and then seeing that intro, that photorealistic, for its time anyway, intro. I was like, oh my god, I need a Sega Genesis. And he's like, "Yeah, well, the Sega Genesis is yours because I'm trading the Sega Genesis for your dad's 100 megabyte hard drive." I was like, I didn't even know what to do. I could not get home fast enough. Now, if I was 30 and saw that, if I was 30 back in 90 and first saw that Revenge of Shinobi intro, would I have had that huge adrenaline rush? No, I would be an adult, and like I said, your perspective on things change, and you don't get that uber euphoric, idiotic, childlike excitement. But it would have been cooler. Like, now, because we've seen technology with gaming has kind of peaked, it seems, at the moment anyway. When something new comes out, it's like, oh, wow, there's more shadows, or, oh, look, they have God rays, or, oh, there's tessellation on those bricks on the wall. Like, it's not those huge, like, you could be, legally blind and see the differences like back then. And when you went from even the Sega Genesis to the SNES, some of the games like Super Castlevania 4 with all the Mode 7 effects, the Genesis couldn't do that, at least at the time, until they, figured out some programming tricks. It was like, whoa, spinning rooms, this is crazy. Now we don't have that. I think that's part of it too. Beyond being an adult and having your world expand and grow, gaming, not stale. Well, yeah, it has grown a little stale, and we've seen so much. I mean, I still love gaming, and I'm still very passionate about it, but I miss seeing those huge leaps in technology that were so obvious and hit you in the face. That was exciting. And I think if we were adults back then, that would have added to our enthusiasm about gaming to see so many changes happening so fast. Hope I explained that right. Now, as you become an adult, is it possible to get that euphoric, childlike experience back when it comes to gaming? No, I don't even think it really has to do with gaming. I just think it has to do with being a child. You experience things differently. Things are more exciting. They're new and fresh. You're a child. The world is new to you. And anything would have been, if say gaming didn't exist when we were kids, something else would have been that exciting and given us that euphoria. you just grow up and your world expands, and how you react to things just differs. You know, I accept gaming as a form of entertainment now, just like music, just like movies. It's something that when I have downtime, that's how I spend my time. You know, when I have a free moment to sit down and game for an hour or two, that's how I choose to entertain myself. And that's what gaming is. It's now a form of entertainment. And the difference was, when you were a kid, it was like kind of like games were, as Mark said, magical. You would get sucked into that world. Like even crappy games like, God, Athena from the NES, that game was ass. But I played the hell out of Athena because, as a kid, your imagination compensates for the crappy graphics, repetitive gameplay, horrible music. Your imagination takes over and you get sucked into the game. And that's just a part of childhood, man. Your imagination runs wild and you can enjoy and relish things that, as an adult, it's pretty much impossible to do. So you just have to take those good memories of picking up games as a kid and realize that's just a part of childhood. And as you grow up and move on, you accept that those euphoric moments were part of the magic of being a child, and all you could do is just look back on them fondly and just keep them as great memories. So thank you, Mark Vergier and Lawn Boys Post 1975, for making this great topic. I haven't made a video response in ages, but this was definitely worth making a video response to. And if you want to put your 2 cents in on this, please make a video response as well, and comment and let me know how you feel. If you're an adult gamer now, let me know how it has changed for you. And do you still enjoy it as much? Do you enjoy it less? Do you still get some of that euphoric feeling when you go pick up a game? Let me know. Make video responses. I'm really interested in seeing what people have to say about this. Alright guys, this is Rich of Review Tech signing off. Hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good one.